Hello, 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 hello. Oh, I'm live. Oops. Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So again, my setup is kind of screwed up, but I'm live already. Uh, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, again, I'm a little scrambled because of my stream yesterday with Jason. But today I do have some exciting news to talk about, and I'm talking about the three bottom indicators. These are ones that are showing Bitcoin is ready to head higher. Bitcoin is doing better already. Altcoins are doing fantastic, at least some of them. Some NFTs, some DeFi plays, some chains are absolutely having a huge recovery day. So let's talk about what's going on in the world of crypto and also look at these three bottom indicators. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and CryptosRUs.com. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, apologize for the beginning. Got a little scrambled there. All right, well, starting with Bitcoin, 34.5, up slightly, 2%. I mentioned about this George wedge last night. And Bitcoin is still in this temporary wedge, but overall it's still between this 41,000 and 31,000 mark. And we will see. Bitcoin looks like it's ready to break out of this wedge one way or another. Can it break back up towards 36 and head to 41, or will it break back down to 31? My gut tells me we're going to go higher. And I do have three bottom indicators that kind of tells you that this is going to happen. Well, let's start with the first one. And I mentioned this before. Of course, a big topic, a hot topic right now is Bitcoin mining, miners getting kicked out, and how the difficulty has adjusted downwards. In fact, it has done so 3 consecutive times, which means 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Because it's difficult adjust every 2 weeks, right? And look at this headline. Bitcoin miner revenue now jumps by 50% because essentially the difficulty has dropped by 50%. So all Bitcoin miners right now that are operational, that are hashing and mining Bitcoin, their profit just went up by 50%. 50%. And this will continue for the next 2 weeks. See, this is the beauty of Bitcoin's network. When you do have a whole bunch of miners get off the network, guess what? The network itself will incentivize miners to come back. This is why the hash power or the difficulty keeps adjusting and keeps heading higher, because there's incentive to keep going. Not only for Bitcoin for its future gains, but short-term gains, you also get incentivized, because if the difficulty drops, that means all the ASIC miners that you have, all the farms that you control, now everything that's cranking away, it is now 50% 50% easier to solve this algorithm, which means you get 50% more Bitcoins. So that's fantastic. So here, this shows you, number one, total hash rate. We can see that it did drop down pretty significantly since May, going down. But you could see, boom, started recovering. And that's because the difficulty adjusted down. And now a lot of miners are spinning back up again. So it could be that the North American miners and miners around the world, they have spun up more miners, okay, to mine more Bitcoin because of the temporary drop, right? Because their profits basically increased by 50%, or a combination, or some of these miners that's kicked out of China is now spinning up in other countries. So we're starting to see this come back up. And when this starts coming up in full force, that's going to be a very, very positive thing. But right now, if you're a Bitcoin miner, you're killing it. You're killing it. All right, second thing. So number one, this is, I believe, a bottom indicator. Now, this is not the end-all be-all indicator because there have been times where Bitcoin has dropped significantly and came back up. And if you go way beyond 3 years, 5 years, you'll see there's certain periods. But this is one of the worst drops that we have seen, and because this is the first time in history you have an entire country of China that is kicking out all the miners. This is the first time. We have heard of different regions and so forth, but this is the first time where it's like collectively they're like, hey, just try to just get out, right? So this is why we have seen such a big drop. However, with that said, the difficulty or the total hash rate right now is about the same as May of last year. So it really didn't reset like back 10 years. It just reset back about a year. So this could be a bottom indicator. Now, something else that relates is the difficulty itself. Now, I mentioned about 3 consecutive adjustments where they were in the red. So overall, the last 6 weeks, you could see this is about 50%, right? But here's the thing. When was the last time we had 3 adjustment periods in the red? This was back in 2018 when Bitcoin hit 3,100. Yes, 3,100. That was our bottom. The crypto winter, the bottom, the very, very bottom was 3,100. And that was the last time we have seen three difficult adjustments in the red. And since then, we haven't seen it. So this could also be a major bottom indicator, both related to Bitcoin mining, I know, but this could also be a major, major bottom indicator because we haven't seen this much at all. So that's another one. And lastly, I just want to bring up something else that I've uncovered recently. I've talked about a few times, and that is a Bitcoin or crypto fear and greed index. So you could see that it hasn't really improved that much. It hasn't gone up into the greens because most people are not greedy at this point. They're still somewhat fearful. There's still a lot of fears about the broader market with equities and stocks. I've been bringing up fractional banking the last few days. It's still quite scary, even though people are explaining to me, hey, it's not as bad as it looks. Until it is. So there's that going on. Also, some people are still anticipating that Bitcoin can crash down below 30,000, heading 20,000. That, for some reason, is still looming. So overall, you're seeing this fear index stay right where it is within this range. And that's another bottom indicator because if you look at right now, Bitcoin is kind of stuck. You see this clump of this fear. And whenever you have a clump like this, usually that's a bottom indicator because afterwards you have a huge recovery. So this is the third indicator that indicates that, yeah, right now could be a bottom because this fear is just, we've been fearful, or collectively, we've been fearful for too long, and it's about time that we head higher. So these are 3 bottom indicators I want to share with you guys. Overall, I'm very, very bullish still on Bitcoin. I look at the fundamentals and I do not see any change. I actually see the fundamentals getting stronger. Despite the fact that the price has come down, I look at it long term. And what's happening behind the scenes is fantastic for Bitcoin and crypto overall. The fundamentals is getting stronger, and that's what I'm paying attention to. But for those of you guys that are focused on short-term movement, these 3 could indicate that we have, in fact, formed the bottom for Bitcoin and we're ready to head higher. Now, I did mention a whole bunch of other good news besides Bitcoin. Let's look at some news first, and then let's talk about altcoins real quick. So here we go. Ethereum. A lot of talk about Ethereum because the London fork, and now there's a lot of companies and even banks that are now coming out supporting Ethereum. And look at this headline, Goldman Sachs, Ethereum's popularity could see ETH become dominant store of value. So not only is Goldman Sachs thinking that Ethereum could be the dominant chain for DeFi or a medium exchange, now they're saying it could be a dominant store of value. How could that be? Ethereum doesn't have a set supply like Bitcoin. There's a lot more coins out there. It's not deflationary. Or is it? Is it? Well, you have a lot of ETH and Ether that's locked into DeFi projects right now. You have a lot of ETH and Ether locked into the Beacon chain. And with the London fork, maybe with all the gas fees, right, that's collected and it's going to be burned, maybe Ethereum does become deflationary. And if that happens, then can it be a store of value? Quite possibly, quite possibly. There's a lot of positivity around Ethereum right now, more so than I even expected. There's a lot of embracing Ethereum at this point from the big boys, not just from retail investors. Now it's starting with the big boys, and I honestly think it's because of DeFi, and on a smaller scale NFT. I think they're both what these big boys are looking at because they know this is exciting. This is the next evolution of finance, and they want to get in early, right? So a lot of excitement around Ethereum at this point. All right, what else is there? CZ wrote a big blog about Binance and what's going on with all the regulatory uncertainty, with the FUD that's being spread around, right? So basically, he's saying, to sum up, progress within the last 4 years, which is really amazing. Binance has only been around for 4 years. It seems like they're like, I don't know, they're as old as Goldman Sachs. But they're not. They're still relatively young companies trying to figure it out, but they are by far the biggest crypto exchange out there. The dominant crypto project that everyone is striving to become. So CZ basically said, yeah, we're go protect our users' interests first, of course, and then he talks about, well, what should we do about all these regulatory concerns, right? To go grow their international compliance team. They have actually grown by 500% last year, but they're going to continue to grow. They're go expand their compliance partnerships, specifically listing out CipherTrace. And what's interesting, localizing operations businesses to comply with local regulations. And then he made a point about their brand partnership with Binance.us, right? So they came out of the exchange and hired a very prominent guy to be CEO to operate just in the US. And it looks like they plan on doing the same thing in other countries where they may require you to have a headquarters there and be fully regulated and so forth, right? So that is something else that they're working on. So CZ is very, very aware and taking the current situation very seriously. So no worries. Binance will get through it and figure it out, in my opinion. What else is there? Another exchange, Bybit. Some of you guys have heard of Bybit before with their crazy leverage. Well, this free pass where everyone can just get in and get wrecked is no longer, and that's because Bybit is introducing KYC. So now that means U.S. residents are no longer eligible, and several other countries like Canada and UK now prohibited as well. And for everyone else that wants to join Bybit to get wrecked with 100x leverage, well, they have to at least provide KYC. So maybe this is actually a good thing. It'll deter some of the newcomers into the space from utilizing leverage and Bybit. So I'm glad to see that. What else is there? Well, look at this. Crypto.com inks its largest deal ever with the UFC, which is set to debut right away with this new McGregor fight. 175 million over 10 years. So you do the math, 17.5 million a year. And what does this mean? Well, Crypto.com, their brand or their logo will be on the uniform of every single UFC fighter that steps in the octagon within the next 10 years. This is a pretty big deal. I mean, the last big one was signed with DraftKings, and now you have Crypto.com that's doing the same thing. Now, my question to this is, because we have heard StormX recently do the same thing with the Portland Trailblazers. Do these deals really work? You figure they have to, right? Because a lot of people watch these fights. But if you're just like a MMA guy and you love to watch MMA, you love to watch fights, and you happen to see Crypto.com, on McGregor's shorts, is that going to make you want to pull up Crypto.com and actually download the app and start buying crypto? I don't know. That's the thing. I think that's the uncertainty at this point. Maybe over time, when you have millions and millions and millions and millions of users looking at it, maybe. But, it's one of those things. I guess we just have to see. This really hasn't happened before. FTX, jumped in with basketball and I think baseball recently. StormX, obviously jumped in with basketball. Crypto.com now is doing MMA. It's starting. It's really, really starting. So we'll see. We'll see. Umesh, I just explained. All right, next up, Blockfi. Those of you guys that are using Blockfi or you're on the wait list for their Bitcoin's rewards credit card, the world's first, well, if you're in the US, get ready. They're about to aggressively take people off the wait list and start approving and shipping out, again, the world's first Bitcoin's rewards credit card, 1.5% on all purchases rewarded back in Bitcoin. So if you're on the wait list, congratulations. You may be getting yours soon. For those of you guys that are not on the wait list and you want to get one of these bad boys, yes, I'm one of 5 people in the world that has one. If you want to get one of these bad boys, well, go ahead and sign up because you may be getting one pretty soon. And use my URL in the description of this video. All right, what else is there? Some other altcoins are doing very, very well, such as NFTs. Axie Infinity, which I just talked about yesterday, and Decentralized among others, are coming up crazy. Axie Infinity is up like 50-something% today. 50-something%. I don't know what Decentraland's up, but it kind of shows you that NFT is not going away. These things come in waves. A lot of people ask me about all these new hyped up NFT marketplaces that aren't doing well, and even some of these existing projects that have done well before, but it has been really, really stagnant as of late. Give them time. The market was saturated, obviously, with Bitcoin coming down. Things have gotten weaker, but the strong players, they will survive. Now, Axie Infinity, I haven't covered before. I know they're a game built on Wax, so that's one that I recently missed out on. But several of these other NFT plays, they're still fantastic. Like Decentralized being one of them, Sandbox being another. Engine, Chili's. I mean, there's a lot in the space, Ecomi, that I think will do very well in the future. So NFTs are here to stay. And of course, VeChain is also into NFT too. What else is there? Harmony. Harmony is actually killing it today too. I think up 20-something% or maybe even 30%. And that's because Harmony has onboarded Sushi and Sushiswap. And the liquidity is growing rapidly already. So Sushiswap is multi-chain now. They were on Ethereum, and then they have moved to Binance Smart Chain, and now to also Harmony. So now Harmony, in addition to Mochi Swap and Viper Swap, they also have Sushiswap, which is a big deal because Sushi is enormous AMM that will bring a lot of liquidity, a lot of users on top of Harmony. So Harmony is also doing very well. And what else is there? eMoney. eMoney, one of my sponsors, for those of you guys that are in Europe, right? eMoney have totally rebranded. So now I got to change the logo on the bottom of my screen. But they have redesigned their website, their logo. The message is still the same. But they have made it really, really nice. So just check them out. But they're all about stablecoins. They have stablecoins backed by a lot of European fiat. But not only that, they're interest bearing too. So they increase in value over time. And they're all about DeFi payments and so forth. So eMoney also looks pretty darn good with the new rebrand. Now, looking at CMC, overall $1.47 trillion. Let's take a look at my portfolio here. I haven't checked it in a while. Well, 57.56, that's not too bad. You know what? Today is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. What does that mean? That means it's time to dollar cost average. So I'm going to add in another $100 today. Last week I added $100 worth of Cosmos. And that turned out to be a fantastic move because since last week to now, it's up 20%, 19%. And for everything else, the only thing, Dogecoin is still down, Theta is still down, but for everything else, look at Ethereum, 30% within 2 weeks, not too shabby. Bitcoin up 10% almost, 14% for Cardano, 18% for VeChain. Solana also doing very well, 27%. Chainlink up 21%. Polygon's a little weak at 9%. BNB at 20%, which is also good. Cosmos, yes. And then BPRO up 21%. So I have to decide, should I put more into what I have now or add something new? Because when I built this a few weeks ago, I told you guys I start with 5,000 and I'm trying to follow a 50, 25, 25 rule, and then I ran out of money. So there's a lot of great projects I want to add, but I wasn't able to. So looking down the list, let's just scroll down the list real quick. So today, obviously, a lot of greens. Polkadot is doing very well today. I have not added Polkadot yet. I'm thinking maybe I should, or add Kusama. You go down the list. I don't have any DeFi plays. Like Uniswap is doing pretty well the last week. You go down the list. What else do I really like that I didn't add? How about Shiba? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Luna is coming up in a big way. I do like them. PancakeSwap doing better these days. What else is there? AMP is another good one, although they pumped up crazily and now they've come back down a little bit. What else is there? Compound has been killing it. The Graph, another good one. Kusama. Yeah, Kusama has been moving faster than Polkadot recently because of the parachain auctions. Thorchain. I mentioned Chiliz. Chiliz is doing pretty good recently, 13% for this week. Synthetic, Decentraland. I think I should add. I think I should add NFT, but I hate to add it when it's up so big today. Sushiswap, KuCoin. I mean, KuCoin token has been killing it. I've been telling you guys about KuCoin. They're mini Binance. They're an awesome exchange, but they've gone up almost 100% within the last week. Basic attention token's a good one. I talked about Harmony today, why they're up so much because of Sushiswap. They're a fantastic one. Axis Infinity up crazy, 182% for the week. They're one I missed, although they're still relatively cheap, I guess. Still 871 million. Can they keep going? Sure, but I would rather see them come down a little bit before DCA into them. Phantom, I talked about. I do like them a lot. Flow is another good one. Flow is an NFT play, up 75%. I told you guys NBA Top Shots were on top of them. The problem is you can't really get them in the US. That's the only problem with them. You know what? I don't know what to put the $100 in. I really would like to put it into another chain like Harmony, but I have so many. I think I need to put it into an NFT play. But all the NFT plays are up today, but oh well. I think I'm gonna put it into Decentraland, because I do like Decentraland. It's just a giant virtual world. So let's just put $100 into Mana. And then, how many? Uh, 145, 140. All right, close enough. 140 of Mana, 73 cents, $102. All right, so now my portfolio is up to 58.52. So I start with 5,000. I added $200, so 5,200 to 58.58. Not too bad. Still over 10% within a few weeks. Right, so I'm gonna keep adding to this as time goes on, and we'll see where it is by the end of the year. And today, for those of you guys that tuned in, I'm gonna give out another code. For those of you guys that follow me on Twitter or you've been watching for a while. I don't need to see another Elon tweet. My giveaway right here. If you click into it, I talked about how there's a 6-month secret code. I'm giving 1 digit per month. I gave 1 digit out last month. I will have to give one this month, which I'm going to do today. And if you get all 6, you get 200 entries into this 5 ETH and $4,000 giveaway. So 500, almost 550,000 people have entered. Pretty good. And there's also a secret code for just, a video I've been showing you guys that gives you the clue to the secret code. And that's 100 entries. But I'm going to give you this secret code right now before I get into Q&A. I have to pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second here. Where is it? All right. So I gave 1 digit last month already. This month, July, this is the only time I'm going to say it. This month, the code is 4. The number 4. Okay? So you already have 1 digit from last month. This month's digit is 4. So, good for you guys that are here paying attention. All right, that's it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up. James is saying Luna. Luna is a fantastic project. I covered them way back in the day, and they're still doing well. They have Maker, Anchor, and they have several other ones that's coming out that's utilizing their Terra USD. Check your Facebook about the exploit. About what? Exploit about what? All right, scrolling down. Flow is asleep. Insurance guy says Flow is a sleeping giant. I do think they are. If they open up on Coinbase or somewhere, I think they're going to explode. It's just that they're not. You can't buy them in the U.S. right now, or I should say, not easily. Harmony One just partnered with Terra. Ooh. I know their big thing was sushi. Did they just partner up with? I don't see it. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Excited to announce a full stack partnership with Terra Money, working together to grow the Harmony Protocol Terra Money DeFi ecosystem. See, Harmony, they're killing it. I've supported Harmony for quite some time. I said they're a fantastic chain. Right? EVM compatible chain, but it's all about growing the ecosystem, right? How can you compete with the big boys like Ethereum and Cardano and Polkadot and VeChain? How do you grow? You just keep onboarding new projects. That's really it. You got to grow the ecosystem, right? So thanks for bringing that up. I missed that. Am I a fan of Huobi token? Not really. Not really. Huobi just, I know they're big exchange, but they just kind of hover around and they don't do really anything exciting. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I'm just neutral. How about Audius? I do like Audius. They have kind of dropped down recently. What else is there? Lewis, I'm just saying your thing now. Al says it just bought $5 VeChain. That's fantastic. Dragon Chain, no. They're kind of an old project that I think it's best to just leave alone. What else did I miss? Did I miss anything? What do you think about this upcoming Crypto.com Draco EVM 2 launch? I'm not familiar. I don't know. Sounds like a boxing match to me. What are your best coins to stake? Good APYs outside of Cake. I mean, like yield farming yields are like crazy, so I don't even pay attention to them. Normal coins, if you're like staking cake for 100% on Pancake Swap, everything else seems really tame, right? But obviously, like, you can stake Cardano natively within a pool for about 5%. You can you can stake, like DAI or stable coins with, say, Blockfi, 8.5%. These are like, you could do native staking with, say, Energy also. I think it's about 12% or something. eMoney also have native staking that's a little bit higher within their wallet for like 28%. So there are some out there, but for me, I have not gotten to staking at all. But it's a good way to make passive income, that's for sure. When will people stop thinking of ETH as an altcoin? It won't ever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being known as an altcoin. I mean, everything besides Bitcoin is an altcoin because they came after Bitcoin, right? So I don't think that's ever going to change. I mean, there's no negative connotation being known as an altcoin. That's like saying, Bitcoin being known as a cryptocurrency is somehow negative. It's not. It's fine. When will my portfolio mix change from 50, 25, 25 to 35, 25, 20, 20? I don't think that's a bad breakup. I'm probably pretty close to that already. I don't think my ETH dominates 25% though. I think it's a little bit lower than that. I have it spread out more. Why is Compound crashing? It's not. It was just up huge yesterday. Decentraland on PS5? No. I already talked about Axie Infinity, Robert. They're killing it, but I would not buy them when they're up this much right now. I think they're a little bit too pumped up. Well, Matthew, thank you for that. Mina Network, do you think of top 50 coins someday? Yeah, it's promising. A lot of people talk about them. That's good, but they have issues they need to work out, like scaling and so forth. So scaling is a big issue for them. Being a protocol that's meant to handle dApps, scalability is a big thing. A while ago, you said you were trying to work something out with Get Protocol for Vegas trip tickets. Is that still in the works? Yes and no. My Vegas thing has changed. So I was planning on using them for the conference, but I'm pushing back the conference until 2022. So I still may use them for that. But in the meantime, I'm trying to see if I can do something smaller, do like a gathering or something. If I do that, I'm not going to be using them for that. But that's the latest. Any change on Shiba? Oh, there's a lot of news. No, none. Tomorrow, answer is yes. Yes. McGarrett, I appreciate that. Avropedia, no, they're kind of like a dead project. They don't compete. They stopped updating. They're not nowhere close to Wikipedia now. They were once upon a time, but not anymore. I do like AMP quite a bit. Do I own stocks? No, not at this time. QuickSwap, it's like the biggest AMM on Polygon. I think it'll do well. But they have pumped up quite a bit and just kind of went sideways. I don't know if they've moved recently. Yeah, they're kind of like sideways. I think they could do well. They're the biggest AMM, I think, on Polygon, and they're still relatively small. Only 71%. 78 million market cap. Janice, of course, I'm not going to tell you last month's code. I said I'm only going to do it once, so you have to pay attention. Just like next month, I'm not going to be telling people what today's code is. So you'll have to get it from someone or something. Thoughts on KuCoin lending? Seems like the returns are weak. I mean, they're not go. Some of their returns are fantastic. Some of their staking is really good. Like you could stake some of these projects and get really good interest. But for lending, that's not their strong suit. So, they can't be good in everything. Merchant token. I've been asked about it before, but it doesn't show up. So, can't look at it, John. Lunar swap also doesn't show up. Sorry. I do read the regular chat. We could disagree. We could agree to disagree as sheep. Yeah, I think so. I was into stocks, but not anymore. Right now. I'm really. I'm kind of fearful of this equities at all. I feel like a lot of them have just topped out. A lot of them have gone up too much, right? So I'm paying attention to it, and it's just making me holding back. I think a lot of things are really high. So sticking with crypto for now. Is VET still sleeping giant? Yes. Yes, it is. Until it becomes like number top 3, it still is a sleeping giant. Craig, that's not possible. There's no way that BTC price is $1,000 less on Binance versus Coinbase. Maybe short term, there may be discrepancies because there's a liquidity issue. We have seen Coinbase be $1,000 more because their supply is low. But normally that doesn't happen. Is there a difference between freshly minted BTC and BTC in platforms? Celsius would charge extra premium they lend out newly minted BTC. I mean, there's really none except a newly minted one, which you can't get a newly minted one unless you're actually mining, right? So that's the only way to get a real freshly minted one. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, the only difference would be the history. If you have a Bitcoin that's been passed around for a long time, I mean, you have a whole chain of history. If you get a new one, there's no history behind it. So that's the only difference. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Super chat will not take my question. I'm posting it in regular chat. No, if it's probably something that doesn't show up. That's why. If you're super chatting and I'm seeing it, that means you can't super chat. Tom Brady Theta mentioned now on live Theta TV. There's been rumors forever that Tom Brady's going to do something with Theta, NFTs or something. But it seems like he's launching his own marketplace. So I'm not sure what the relationship is. What's up with the Avalanche bought in February 45? Not sure what I should do. I mean, I've never been that bullish on Avalanche. They're kind of like a DeFi chain. I don't hear a lot about them. I mean, quite honestly, I do think that when the market comes up, they could definitely come back. But it's just one of those chains I don't hear a lot about these days. And is Wanchan dead? No, not really. I think they're okay. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. So Bitcoin doing okay. Let's see if it can break out of this wedge and head higher. Also, overall market is doing very, very good. Of course, we're not back to our previous highs yet, but that's okay. Slow and steady rise. And this does give us more opportunity to DCA, right? Like I did with my portfolio today, or my sample portfolio, I should say. But a lot of NFTs, a lot of DeFi, a lot of chains, fantastic. That's a pretty good thing. But I did mention 3 bottom indicators, 2 of them relating to Bitcoin mining, 3 consecutive difficulty adjustments. That could be a bottom indicator. The hash rate now starting to turn slowly. That could be a bottom indicator. And lastly, the fear and greed index. When you have a whole bunch of fear clumped together, that could be a bottom indicator. So we'll see. We'll see. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and tune in tonight. 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye.